Live on stage, the sound
of Orlando.
So, is they ready? The sound
of Orlando.
What is going on, party people? What is going on? This is your boy Rome, live and direct in the heart of Orlando, Florida. This is the Sound of Orlando show. When we're thinking about the importance of describing and talking about hip hop culture, man, how can we not give props to the city that I love? Shout out, I want to give a special shout out all the MCs out there that are doing their thing, that are working on new material, that are, sending me music or not sending me music, that are just continuing to push the culture forward. Shout out to all the MCs out there, all my producers. Shout out to you guys, man, out there continuously busting out new tracks, pushing the culture forward. Shout out to all my DJs out there, trying to push the culture forward, whether it's skill, whether it's blend, regardless to what it is. Our DJs are really important to the culture. They're the ones that continuously make an impact immediately in real time out in the clubs, the bars, the radio, the mixtapes, the hosting of the mixtapes. Our DJs are very important. I say it and I'll say it again. They are the bartenders of records. We serve up records, okay? Shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to all my graffiti writers, all of my artists out there that continue to push the culture forward in Orlando, in the ORL. We need that. Shout out to you, man. This show is about you guys in general, if not telling your stories, reintroducing everyone in the world to our Orlando story, because we have a story to tell. This is very important when it comes to the broader picture, the bigger picture of, this next chapter of pushing the culture forward. We are all a part of this story. So kudos to all my peoples in the trenches out there making it happen. Okay. I also do want to say, man, there's a lot of people out there struggling. They have lost people. They might be going through sickness or depression, or some kind of ailment. Make sure that you judge not so quickly out here, man. Folks is really being tested out here. They're stressed out. Just try to do your best, man, to treat others as you would want to be treated. Nobody wants to be kicked when they're down. And to all my people's going through it right now, man, find a number, whatever number that is. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's an uncle, a brother, a father, whatever, sister, mother. Find a number. You're not alone. Everybody's going through it right now. And just, remember that we're all fighting a war, and there's no such thing as you being alone. You're not alone, man. So shout out to all my peoples who woke up this morning and continue to have another option, another opportunity to make things right in your life. Welcome to the Sound of Orlando show. This is your boy, Bro. Now, my next guest, it's amazing how things kind of go in a 360 mode. When I met him, he was an upcoming MC out here in the ORL. We were kind of all like working together, friends, just kind of, coming up in Orlando. And, next thing I know, he's a DJ. And not only is he a DJ, he continued to pursue the art of DJing. Not everybody starts out at the beginning. He started out later on. But next thing I know, he's rocking all over the city. Some of our biggest clubs, some of our biggest bars. He's just been doing his thing, man. And anytime a brother can, flip the script and do something no one ever expected him to do, man. You got to applaud that. He's one of our legendary DJs out here in the city. He knows how to rock a party. Great guy in general. I'm honored to have him on as a guest. I was just laughing about it. Who would have knew that, when we met, this would be where we'd end up. But man, look, this is what happens, man. When we're telling our story, we're going to tell all of it. We ain't going to keep nothing out. Shout out to everybody out here supporting the Sound of Orlando show. So give it up for my brother from another mother, the one and only DJ Flent D. What's good?
What's good? What's good? Pleasure to
Man.
be here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
Man, you already know, bro. Welcome to the show, man. So glad to have you. It's been long overdue. Just obviously we haven't done the show that long, but I knew I had to reach out to you, man, and bring you on so the city can hear, some of their legends speak.
I appreciate that so much, man. So
yes.
Yeah. I mean, like when we met a long time ago, I started out as when I got here to Orlando, I started out doing rap music. I was pursuing the dream of being a rapper.
Right.
How I got into DJing was a Geico check. Because, I used to make beats and shit back then. And I got into a car accident and Geico cut me a check on the spot. So I was like, I can go buy some DJ equipment or I can go buy some production equipment. It was either MPC or turntables.
Right.
I chose the turntables and a mixer. And I chose that turntables and a mixer and it paid me back 100-fold. So I do not regret that decision.
Man, dude, okay. Before we get into you acquiring these turntables, because like I said, when I met you, you were up and coming MC out here. You were doing your thing, and we were rolling thick back then, bro. We had a posse, DJs, MCs, producers. I mean, just everybody was just pitching in and trying to make things happen. But how did you get there? Talk about how you got to where we met up. Talk about what drew you to music and drew you initially to MC and things like that. Talk about that.
When I got to Orlando in '89 and
from where?
Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I was
Shout out to Alabama. Let's go.
I was there for a few years, and before that, I was in Fort Pierce. So most of my upbringing was in Fort Pierce, Florida. So, but when I was in Alabama and I came to Orlando, I decided I was going to pursue my rap career, and I met up with Knee Deep, R.I.P., and also John Mann and Poe and all of them, and we started doing music all together.
Yes.
And then you and some other MCs and DJs came into the mix. Yeah. It was good times back then. But me making beats back then, I wasn't making any money. So
right, like
I said, when I got that Geico check, I knew DJing because my dad's a DJ, my brother's a DJ, so it's in the family. And I DJed when I was in high school, so I've done it before. So, but I've never done it professionally. So when I got those turntables, I started learning, and then I think it was 05, 06, I started getting gigs downtown, and then from there I started expanding my reach. And
what was that like when because you were a customer at a club? What was that like? You going in and actually going into rocker. What was that like? That first moment you knew, okay, I'm in downtown, which probably at that time, like it is now, was the premier, spot if you were going to introduce yourself to Orlando. Talk about what that was like for you.
I don't know if you remembered. JG had a night on Monday night at the Blue Room, which is on Pine Street.
Yeah,
He had a Monday night, Martini Mondays on Monday night,
right.
and I had an opportunity to DJ that spot, and that was my first public venue, and
Wow.
it was mind blowing. I was like, yeah. So I knew then this is exactly what I wanted to do. So
Right.
I did
Was it
to a hard mode to hit up every club owner and promoter in Orlando. I didn't get anything from them, so I took my own direction. I started going to the bars, and when I started going to the bars, I started talking to DJs and bar owners, and from there they started giving me opportunities, and from there I started building a following, and from
right?
building that following, I started setting my own tone as far as the style of music I was playing.
Talk about that for a minute, because um, for a lot of people, it is the clubs where they want to be. For a lot of people as well, the bars are like consistent. Bars tend to be open nightly, and kind of fill up your week. But they also have a more direct approach that is different from the club. The club is kind of, if you are dealing with the owner, um, a lot of times, depending on the club, it's not a great relationship. It's strictly business, and when you're dealing with the promoters can have their kind of way about them. Talk about what relationships, like you said, going your own way. What relationships you were able to build with the bars versus the clubs.
Well, the era before me, bars did not have DJs.
Right.
You went into a bar, you heard a jukebox. That was it. I was part of the era that brought DJs into bars. So
Right.
when they brought DJs into bars, they really didn't want that much rap music at the beginning. They didn't really want that much rap music because they would, and which I didn't really mind because
Right.
learning those other genres of music put me on another level of mixing and being able to be creative with other genres. So with that, I just got creative with it. I didn't look at it as, oh, I can't play the music I want, so I'm not going to do this. No, that's not how I looked at it. I looked at it as, I'm learning new crowds. I'm learning new songs that make people happy. So now today, I got a whole bunch of genres in my repertoire that I can just reach back in the bag and look at a crowd and see, oh, they're going to like this song. So it was all beneficial for me.
How important is that as a DJ? Because you hear the argument a lot of times. Um, have certain DJs that may have came on, or just even in conversation about what to play, how maybe the promoter or the owner or on them about what to play. Like you said, can't play a lot of rap. A lot of rap music tends to pull up a stereotype, if you will. If you play too much rap, this crowd's going to come in, or these people might feel uncomfortable. Um, and then you just said something as well earlier about how you play, right? So it's not so much about the collection as is how you play that collection. Talk about the differences that you noticed from your experience in DJing.
Okay, so like I said, I was part of the era that DJs came in and started working in bars. So I'm being a DJ, and I'm a music lover first. So music lover first being what would I want to hear? And if I was these people, what would I want to hear? That's how I look at a crowd. I'm like,
Right.
what would I want to hear?
Right.
And some of the crowds that were coming in, and some of the stuff that the bars were asking to be played, I'm like, they don't want to hear that. I'm like, if you want these people to keep coming back, let me do me, and I'll get them back in here, and I'll keep them longer. Because back then, like, you play you know the routine. You play a song all the way out. By the end of the song, the momentum of the song is gone. That's why people don't understand why DJs don't play songs all the way through, because you're trying to keep the energy high, and the energy only lasts a certain amount of time.
Okay. The class just walked in. Could you repeat that again?
The energy of the song only lasts for so long. So you cannot play the song all the way through and expect the same energy at the end of the song. So, I mean,
man, my dude, he ain't on this motherfucker 5 minutes, and he's already dropping bombs on the city. The idea of playing a song entirely through are for two purposes: YouTube, and you don't even get the song played through sometimes through YouTube because they play a fucking commercial.
true.
And when you home,
Yeah,
or in the car.
yeah. I mean, and we live in an environment now where you can hear a song whenever you want to, wherever you want to, at the touch of in your home. You can hear it whenever you want to. So when people go out and they want the DJ to play the song that they want, I'm like, look, let the DJ do what they're doing. They're providing a journey for you. Let them provide that. So, I mean, I say now that I don't take requests, and I'm really nice about it. I'm like, I don't take requests, but your suggestions are welcome. And why I say that is because people have an expectation that their request is supposed to be played next or soon. When I say I take a suggestion, it's pretty much it may be played or it may not be played.
Right. Right. And I get it to damn near a karaoke DJ. Like, I get the karaoke platform in that the crowd is involved in the decision making, meaning they're going to come up, they're going to ask for a song to sing, and you just sit there. But if it's not a karaoke function, where does that power begin other than let me grab a drink, let me go sit down somewhere, sit your ass down somewhere, or I love it, the DJ is dope. You know, like, I just don't see the area in which that is conducive to a great night with the server and because the DJ is a server, basically a waiter of records. I'm serving up some records. Sit your ass down and take this meal.
Right.
And the customer asking for water and lemons every 2 minutes. That shit will drive you fucking crazy. Bitch, I'll give you a lemonade. I will give you a lemonade. Figure that shit out later. I got other people to serve. Do you think that DJs are wrong for standing on their character or style or who they are as a server versus because you said two things, which I'm highlighting: playing what you want, which part of that is your character, and then playing what you want, oblivious to the entire establishment. Is there a line that is a thin line for you to kind of walk on every night?
Not for me anymore.
Okay.
I used to, but now I like to get the whole room entertained. So now it's when you hire me, you hire me. you're not hiring me to play this. You're not hiring me to play that. You're hiring me to keep your business busy.
Right. So you're performing. You're not doing covers. You're performing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
you're doing your material this tonight.
And how I get my canvas is I look at your audience in your venue. So when I look at your audience in your venue, then because I never go in with a set list. I don't even know the next song I'm gonna play after the next song until I look and see how the crowd is reacting to the song I'm playing right now.
Okay, well, there was somebody under their desk. Could you say that one more time?
I don't have a playlist.
Boom! 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 We love it. We love it. That's what we're talking about, bro. Freedom. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to bring up an argument that may have been that's really a lot. It's talked about a lot in Orlando, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other places, but not as crazy as it is in Orlando. DJing in Orlando is like a damn, it's like the damn shark encounter exhibit at SeaWorld. Like, you don't want to go in there. It's just sharks. What say you about the pressure that DJs are under to really do what they do? Because there's an argument that says, well, if I mess up and do not do what everyone else is doing, then I may not be there and someone else may come in to take my slot. What say you about that?
You can play mainstream music and still be you. You don't have to play every song that everybody else is playing. Reach back in the crate. I mean, just to hear every song on the radio, and then you play the same song you play the same songs throughout the night. Like, I never repeat a song once. You can ask any bartender that ever worked with me. They've never heard the same set, and they've never heard the same song in the same night.
Okay, they were just getting off the bus, and they just joined us. Could you say that one more time?
I don't repeat songs. I don't repeat songs.
Boom!
There are way too many songs. Why do you have to repeat a song?
Man, I don't think they are listening. This is so basic and elementary on so many levels. Because a lot of times what happens is when we're highlighting or we're talking about what a DJ is, a lot of DJs, the sentiment is that you guys are all doing the same thing, right? We don't use that same kind of metaphor when it comes to MCs. We don't say, okay, anyone can rap, so anyone can rap. I mean, you're not doing anything different. We only say that when we're talking about people who are whack, right? But DJs, for some reason, this is the only place where that conversation can exist. That's like you being around 4 producers and you're saying, I don't care which one of you. I mean, you all do the same shit. That takes away from who they are. Like, you mean to tell me I've been working all these years and I'm easily replaced that way? I feel like that with DJs. Like, there's only one Kid Capri. There's only one Jazzy Jeff. They worked hard to have their own style. And you're going to tell them how to play, what to play, as if they don't know how to play or they don't know the crowd. Like, do you think that DJs contribute to that stereotype?
Today's DJs do.
Why?
Because they don't know the basics. They don't know the fundamentals, the basic fundamentals of DJing. They don't know how to beat match. They drop songs, drop song. Give me an explosion, give me a horn, give me whatever you got. But these cats don't know how to blend. And that is a basic fundamental. I mean, especially, I mean, if you're going to be doing multi-genre, I mean, you got to know how to beat match. And to me, that's the basis. When I go somewhere and I just hear DJs just drop, 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 don't blend shit, I'm like, get this DJ out of here. That's
Well, for a lot of people who DJ, I think that can be a problem if they don't know the fundamentals. I think in absence of, like, if there's some young buck sitting on a controller, beat matching damn near is not even a fucking problem anymore because of sync.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I use sync.
Right.
Like, I use sync. I mean, I embrace technology.
Right.
You know why I use sync? Because sync allow me to do other creative things.
Right.
The time that it would have taken me to do what I would have normally done to beat match, I can do something else. And now my mixes are a lot faster. But if you take the sync away from me, I can still do it.
Right.
And
I know what a lot of the controllers, really a lot of the technology in general, I mean, most of these mixers have some button on there that can allow you to sync.
they don't sync that good.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
You still got to know how to. You still got to know how to. Oh, that's not syncing up correct.
Right.
So you still got to know that part.
But the point that I'm trying to make out of it is, for DJs, especially with a lot of the trap stuff, even some of the reggae has gotten pretty. It used to be like when you mix rock and, let's say, like a hip hop record, some of those snares were off, some of the music could be off, and even if it's synced to perfection, it could clash a lot together. Now, even though they're similar in BPMs, you have a lot of people that, like you said, they didn't learn how to mix, so their go-to is the drop. But if they don't have a knowledge of music, how do they get to the mix anyway? If I'm posing an argument to you, like,
how do they know what songs to play?
Right. If they don't have a knowledge of music, then it is pretty much drop and go, because a lot of this new music or the mainstream music is designed to drop and go. There really isn't some, a lot of them, they come with the intro part records, and they come with the instant kind of, you got the cue points. So a lot of it, for a lot of the modern music, does have go-tos, whereas the music we grew up on and all those decades, you had to know that music to find the right places to do all of this. But a lot of the modern music, I mean, it's already mapped out for you. You show up, press this button, and good. You good to go. Do you think that makes it harder for them to learn based on what you're saying?
No, because the most important part of being a DJ is the selection. So if you're just playing all of the current hits, and you're not introducing anything that's going to make somebody say, "What is that?" then you are just like the other DJ.
I just had a DJ on not too long ago. I'm not going to mention his name because it's not a strike at him, but it is context for this conversation. You're talking about breaking a record, giving the listener something they haven't heard. And there's an argument that goes around that's basically saying the complete opposite. You can't, you shouldn't, because you're taking a risk that the crowd will walk off the floor, may leave, like all of these things that DJs at times can be pressured with. But you're, like you said, you're representing an experienced outlook on it. We grew up during a time where it was cool to have a record that the other DJ didn't have.
Yeah. That was that was the golden days. Like you had, what do they call, the dub plates, or you had the tracks that came from the UK that they don't have here, the remix or whatever. But yeah,
Right.
those days are done. Everybody's using the same record pools, and everybody. And I say this anytime, and I challenge anybody. I'm like, I'll give any DJ my whole digital collection, and nobody can play like me, so I don't worry about that. I can give you my whole digital collection, and we're going to be different DJs. No matter what, I can give you all my music, all my videos, and we're still going to be different DJs because I play different.
Right. A lot of people say that the crowd that wants to hear something new no longer exists. I personally watched this or seen this play out in certain spots in Orlando. I also watched personally in certain spots, and it'd be a packed house, where the DJ is playing literally all remixes and shit that nobody's ever heard of, and record after record is like, damn, what the hell is that? What's that? Yeah. So is those people really dead? Or are we killing them? Which one is it? Like, I don't understand this notion that people only want to come out, because I know they exist. I know that.
Right.
They only want to come out and listen to what's on their phone. So how do you DJs exist if that's literally what we're dealing with?
I only drop new songs during non-peak times. I would never drop a brand new song during peak or volume, because as it is stated, once you lose that crowd, it's kind of hard to get them back. So once they're gone, they're gone. So yeah, I don't do that during volume. But if people are in a chill mode when it's not volume. So if people are in a chill mode, they're listening to lyrics more. If it's busy, they're not listening to lyrics anyway. But if they're in a chill mode where it's not that busy and they're not engaged in dancing or chatting with their friends too much, they are listening to the new song. So that'll be the time to play it.
Right.
When it's not that busy.
So it should be both, not either or.
Yeah.
It should be the DJ gives you what you need at the height of the night.
Mm-hmm.
But at the beginning of the night, it's an introduction of who you are. You're more of you than you are at that peak time, because we know 1 o'clock, 12:30, around that time, there's 12:30, 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning records that every DJ has in their stash. When it comes to hit that peak time, these are the records that are coming at you. But
and being that you mentioned that, because I play day parties, I play evening parties, I play night parties. Right. You got to know when your peak time is.
Right.
Back in the day, peak time was after 1 o'clock. You knew that was prime time.
Right.
But if you're doing day parties, if you're doing evening parties, whatever may have you, your peak time may be different. So you got to know when that peak time is. You got to know when. You got to look at your audience and say, I can hold off on playing this song until peak. So yeah, you just got to know your venue and your audience.
Right. Do you think the promoter, DJ, the owner, DJ relationship can be better?
I can honestly say I never dealt with bad owners, and I personally have never dealt with shady promoters. The
Dope.
promoter, and I only work with like 2 or 3 promoters in Orlando. So,
Dope.
yeah, and I've never had an issue with those guys. So,
What do you think? What do you think in your mind um, establishes that good relationship that you have with them? Um, that differs from a lot of other DJs. I know Remington's on here. He could probably tell a bunch of war stories. I know Jesse Jazz. He could probably tell a bunch of war stories. What? But
trust,
what do you trust?
trust.
Gotcha.
And that's one of the things that makes me want or not to want to work with a promoter. Um, we all go in with, we all have a level of credit. I have a level of credit as DJ. The promoter has a level of credit as a promoter. And when other DJs talk about the bad credit of a promoter, I don't want to work with them. I don't want to give them a shot. So that's the stuff that matters out here, is your reputation and what you do and how you treat people. You treat people shitty. How far do you think you're going to get with that?
Well, a lot of people treat people shitty, and they're pretty damn far.
They're pretty damn far, huh?
We'll take that as a lesson, though. For real, the real premise of what you're saying is eternal. It's the truth. You think you're gonna live long enough to spend that money? You fucking humble. Yeah. So it's normally comes down to that at the end of the day. But like you said, if you're a stand-up guy and you also do your homework, then like you said, you may not deal with that at all. Because it's called being attracted to something, right? So, there's an attraction laws. The laws of the universe work, what could you tell any aspiring DJs out there that may want to go a similar path in how to stay away from shady people in the industry, who will, you'll see the whole place packed, everybody's drinking, toasting Belvedere behind the bar. Man, what a great night. And they only want to give you $50.
Yeah. What I tell you is, get paid in advance. Don't let your payments be contingent on audience participation. If the person tells you they're going to pay you this, that's what they're going to pay you. I've thrown events, I've done events, and I tell DJs when I work with them, it's not contingent on the crowd participation. Because I feel like if you're a promoter and you're out here promoting, you should be able to pay for the things that you need. When Facebook asks for their money for your marketing, you don't say, hold on, let me get this. Let me see how much I made at the door. No, when they want that money, they want that money, and so forth. Your event wouldn't be anything without us, without the DJs. So Why don't you just come to the venue with the money for your entertainment, pay your entertainment, and then if you make your money back at the end of the night, you make your money back at the end of the night.
Right, but everybody got paid for their services.
Exactly.
Right. Now, not the smartest one in my room, but wouldn't you think that would be just like basic math, right? Like the idea or the concept of paying you prior. Weddings do this. Shout out to DJ Infinite on the check-in. Weddings do this. A lot of events do this. To Jesse Jazz's point, just like an artist, pay the DJ before they start working.
Yeah.
Like all of these things that you would think would just be basic. When did you think this started? where they paid the DJ, make you wait to 2:30, 3, 4 in the morning while they running around kissing and hobnobbing so you can get your money and get the hell out of here.
Right.
Where do you think that whole like idea or concept came from? If it's so basic.
You really want to know where it came from?
Come on, brother.
Broke promoters.
Oh, literally, these kids just got out of detention. They're joining us now. Can you explain that one more time?
Broke promoters. They don't have the money in the first place. So they're relying on people showing up to the event to pay for all their expenses.
Right.
But that's not how business works.
Right.
And if you lose, you lose. Not me. That's your event. So
right.
You hired me to DJ, so you pay me to DJ.
Right. Right. So basic, man. So like elementary, but you see it unfold all the time. You know, young or old. A lot of DJs, you know, some would say that's cutting your teeth. Back in the days, they'll say, hey, you know, we don't know you, DJ for free, and we'll see how it goes from there. Or the old wait till the end of the night, we'll see what goes on from there. Or, you know, it's almost getting to the point where people are being asked to pay to even be a part of it.
I've heard of that one too.
So, like, yeah, I mean, you said something about trust. How do we get there when people are doing shit like that? How do we get there? I mean, you're a DJ. Tell a city.
I can't speak for those who do that kind of work because I don't work with them. So
Right.
I have a level of expectations from people that I do work for. And when those levels aren't met, I won't work with them again. That's my basics.
Right.
Okay. You didn't pay me last time. Why would I work for you this time? I mean, that don't work out for me. So I mean, like I said, I hardly ever have these problems because I'm kind of upfront with people in the beginning. This is what I charge. This is what I expect to be paid when I expect to be paid. So I mean, it's not really that hard.
Right. For many people, they seem to lowball the concept of what it is to even DJ in general. For most of these places now, they don't even want to take on the liability of being of having DJ equipment. So for the most part, a lot of the DJs, you know, are having to bring their equipment out. You know, they're having to bring the PA out. They're having to bring out, you know, sometimes it's a fucked up loading area. You know, sometimes, you know, some of these rooftops, you got to take shit upstairs. And, you know, so all of these things that, you know, after paying for 10, 15, sometimes $20,000 worth of equipment, and then all the stuff you got to go through to load and unload, just to do the party. This is not even when the party starts. This is everything you brought. So the concept or idea of why do you think they pay DJs so low in general? Is it skill based? Is it other DJs who are lowballing, fucking up the game for other people?
Boom, right there. That's it.
Okay. How do you feel about that, in your opinion?
This is why I don't work downtown anymore. I mean, I stopped working downtown because, I mean, when I started, we was making really good money. And then all the controller DJs came in, and the controller DJs would just do it for a bar tab, or they would do it for $50 to $75. And this is how it is now. They want to pay you less money and now they want you to work more hours. So I refuse to do all that.
Okay, there's people that were suspended. They just came back to school. Could you say that one more time, buddy?
They want to pay you less and want you to work more.
So, you just highlighted something that was just extremely important that not only is going on in our economics across the United States, where they want you to work more hours and get paid less, but now it's starting to seep into DJ. So you mean to tell me, now, mind you, most, I'm not say all, but most DJs, they pay for their shit. They've saved up all the dollars. They jump through several hoops and over fences to get their music collection. You know, and you're telling me they want to pay less for something you've literally spent your entire life on and want you to work more? And what is working more? 5 hours, 6 hours? What's
so back in the day, 4 hours was average. Now I see they're asking for 5-6 hours for less.
Wow. What's 5-6 hours of DJing to you? What does that mean to you? I know what it means to me, but what does it mean to you?
The value?
Right. Well, just, what it takes to DJ for 5 or 6 hours.
Well, you got to stand up for 5 to 6 hours straight.
Right.
So it's not like you're taking breaks. Yeah, I mean, you're standing up for 5 to 6 hours straight. So you're not taking breaks. I mean, you're not seeing DJs go take a cigarette break. I mean, like I'll be back. No, that's not how it works. I mean, we're there. We're providing entertainment for all of your clients that come through for 5 to 6 hours, and you want to pay $150 for that.
Right.
Yeah. All I got is 2 middle fingers for that. I'm like, and on a Friday and Saturday night, are you serious?
5-6 hours for a DJ, and I want everybody to listen closely, could possibly mean you can't even take a fucking piss. That's what 5-6 hours could do. To make somebody not even take a break for any reason for 5-6 hours, when even at the 7-Eleven you can go to the restroom.
Your 15-minute break.
Right. Even most jobs that pay you minimum wage, you can go to the restroom. But to your point, shit, you might be outside. There might even be no fucking bathroom nearby. You DJing. And they want to pay you that kind of money. Do you think there needs to be more representation when it comes to DJs? Like, as far as, some sort of like a union or some sort of, or
a league?
Right, where, they have to deal with us across the board the same way or similar to without. I mean, because I feel like, that's his deal. He fucked up. But I also feel like that's his deal. He fucked up. And he's making it okay with everyone else to do that. But if like the NBA, all the teams got to follow the same rules.
Let me tell you how it happened. So the first bar owner came in and said, I got a DJ this night. And the next bar owner says, well, I got this guy. He charges blah, blah, blah. And then the other bar owner says, oh, you pay him that much? I pay my DJ $75 a night. Oh, you do? That's how that shit balled. That's how it started. So, and because those people that were friends of that bar owner and they play for $75, now they're not professional DJs. So now they think they can pay professional DJs the same way.
Right.
So, and that's right.
What if it was up to you, what would you do to put an end to that madness? I feel like DJs we're required a lot. We do a lot. There's lifting, there's loading, there's standing for hours. There's a lot that goes into DJing, the outside of the actual DJing part, where the fun is. Because most people just look at, well, you get to do what you love to do, and that's fine. But we're forgetting about the environments that encompass while we're loving to do what we love to do. And there's no benefit package,
No.
Nobody's got no damn 401k. Nah. Right? Like you're doing it because this is your way of getting paid. Do you think there should be some sort of, unity in that? We figure out ways because I believe we're hospitality as DJs. We're in the hospitality industry.
We are extensions of the venues that we work at.
Right.
When you work at that club, you work at that club for 5 years. You're like family with the bartenders. You're like family with the staff.
Right.
Same thing with the bar. So you're an extension of that venue. So yeah, I think there should be a basic minimum. On the week, definitely Friday and Saturday nights, you should be getting paid more than what you get paid on Sunday through Thursday. But there should be a minimum, meaning like a standard, $40 an hour for Sunday through. I'm just throwing numbers out there. This is not what I'm saying that they should be, but $40 an hour for Sunday through Thursday, and $55 to $60 for a weekend night per hour. So if you work that extra hour, you still get that extra money. Because they try to beat you up when fallback comes. They don't even want to pay you for the extra hour on fallback. You know what I'm talking about, right? When on daylight savings time, when
right.
When that 1 hour fallback, they act like that shit didn't even happen.
Right. It's crazy. It's crazy, and I love what you're talking about, because for a lot of people who may not DJ, sometimes they just view us as like it's not a real job. 1, 2, you get to do what you love to do. 3, it seems like everybody loves you, right? Like, you got all the ladies, all your boys giving you high fives. But that's from the outside. From the inside, a lot of DJs, like a lot of artists, are starving. And when I say starving, they're one non-gig having ass away from shit hitting the fucking fan, or for what they gotta pay to do it. Meaning, you gotta replace a mixer, that's fucking $2,000.
Yep.
Or turntables, $1,000. Needles, you gotta jump through hoops to get the needles that fit you. So there's a lot of like little things that people don't take into account of what a DJ actually fucking goes through. They gotta live in the right spot, because they can't practice on their craft in a fucking apartment made out of fucking 52 card pickup. Like, it's like all of the things that DJs have to go through. It's a wonder. It's a wonder that they're not all on drugs, drunks, because for a lot of them, they are the entertainment, but that's not always the fucking thing to kind of, raise your fist on, right? Like, you're the entertainment, you're the help, because for you, it's much more than that.
When I was doing it full time, and this was all I did for 6 days a week. It was, man, I had like 6 gigs a week. I was doing a double on Fridays. Yeah, those were some good days. But at the end of the day, I mean, I didn't do shit during the daytime. My days were pretty much empty. So, I mean, if I had known then what I know now, I would have probably been investing in a lot of more uh, investments like the market and shit like that. So,
Right. Well, to your point, I was just about to say it. The hours that DJs keep don't equivocate to good health. Fucking, you're ending your night at 4 in the fucking morning. That's damn near graveyard shift, And like you said, you're not able to get up, and enjoy some of your days sometimes. You know, but like the police, this is a job that you chose to do. So you accepted what is there. I just think they're unlike the police, they got unions. We don't.
So do you think a union would be
I think one of the first steps that should probably be established is establishing, like they do in Vegas, establishing DJs as part of the hospitality industry. And I think across the board, the hospitality industry in Florida, especially, being that we are annexes of a Vegas, should have, because we are built on tourism and people coming to the clubs. There's more clubs than there is damn food pantries. We should be represented.
I agree with that. But that being cost, then we will have to be licensed.
That's licensed. If that's the only barrier to that, which I'm pretty sure there's more barriers to it, but if that was the only barrier, that wouldn't be enough to stop it. Because for me, once again, you're in a profession that does not have, you're independent contractors, yes, but there's plenty of contractors that are licensed and have certain protections to protect not only their contractors, but protect other people in the field. The plumbers, they have protections. They could be independent contractors in a lot of different ways, but they have protections with the union. We need to have, as DJs, to me, protections. To one, where the obvious is. Promoters, owners can't fuck DJs. Like that should be across the board. It should be in all of our interests to keep the money at a certain level. You're not going to rape one. We wouldn't accept that for racism. Somebody being racist to somebody else, like, there's none of my business. Like, we wouldn't do that. But if they're fucking and molesting other DJs, at what point does that not begin to affect everyone else? If we allow it, then it's going to be raining cats and dogs of it.
I think that's going to start in. We need a representative in Tallahassee. We need.
Well, first of all, the DJs. Maybe it's the elders. Maybe it's the ones right under us. There first needs to be a coalition of people that understand what it is we're trying to do. First of all, and once again, this is like the same thing with people working at a Walmart. The one thing they don't want, they tell you all the time, if you work anywhere where there's employees at, and they tell you don't ask what somebody else is making, right? They tell you you don't talk to your employee about what we did with you, right? Because they want to keep everything the same way. But there needs to begin maybe it's a conference that, all DJs, a million DJ march. I don't know what the fuck. One of them things need to happen for all of us to kind of get on the same page. This is what we finna do.
Yeah.
And we're looking out for all of us, not our friends, not the people that are down with us, but any DJs after we dead and gone we love this so much. We know what goes into it. We know we ain't got no benefits. We ain't got no protections. We can show up somewhere one day and the motherfuckers be like, nah, we found something else. No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to do that.
That's why we need representation up in Tallahassee.
Right.
We need somebody to represent us as professionals.
Right. We're professionals. And we are half, maybe sometimes it is 30%, but a lot of times we are half of the risk, because in no other business for a lot of these places do you just pull up into somewhere with $10,000-$20,000 worth of your investment in somebody else's house and not have no protections. And you know, it's just the idea of reestablishing our value as a trade, because there's a lot of great DJs out there that have went into private business, meaning they only do they've acquired a venue and they only do events at their venues, or stop DJing altogether because they're constantly having to establish how valuable they are, and they don't have anyone vouching for them in that regard. Like, it's just you against a company. Jesse Jazz saying something here. He said, in MySpace days, if a promoter didn't pay what I was supposed to get or dip without paying me, I would talk about it on MySpace or Orlando Hip Hop Forum, and later they would come to me with the money and ask me to take it down and not talk about it anymore. They don't want other people to know how shiesty they are, and I never took anything down. Boom. That part.
Put them on blast.
Right. Put them on blast. Let all the DJs know about it. You know, just because I know a lot of times what tends to happen is we all click up in our own ways. So the information, we're as powerful as the information we have is, right? So if we allow people within our trade to be abused, mishandled, taken advantage of, we are asking for it on our own watch. We can't expect, because it's a community with enough numbers, especially here in the city, but not so much that we cannot come together as a community, if that makes sense.
This is true. I mean,
and have similar interests.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the DJ community is pretty solid, and I mean, you're part of the Orlando DJ group, right?
I don't think so, but give me the information and maybe I'll become part.
All right. I mean, we have like outings over at Promo Only. I mean, it's a really good and big community. So I mean, we do have that. We do have the numbers and we do have that drive, but we all just got to stand together and
right. And that will stamp out the greediness, because obviously there will be people that will say, nah, man, fuck that. I need to get paid. But that's probably going to be way too small for it to stop the entire movement. The objective is that we all get paid, and get paid the right way, and get protection so that people don't just screw over our stuff and skate away. We know how hard the club business is. Clubs last 6 months, 8 months, you know, so responsibility can be hard to be accountable for when they're not going to be there for the long haul. But there are bars, there are clubs that have lasted even longer than 6 months, a year. They should be held accountable for their business practices. The promoters should be held accountable for their business practices to make and ensure that it's quality versus quantity.
I'm gonna just bring it back to accountability on the promoters end.
Yep.
The accountability comes on us as DJs. If we continue to work for those promoters, then that's on us. So
Right.
if there's a shady promoter in the business and still getting DJs, that's on us.
Right.
That's not them. I mean, they're shady being shady, and they got people to allow them to do that. So if we speak up and speak to each other more and say what this guy's doing or girl, then they won't have anybody to work for them and they won't be in business.
Right.
Period.
This Go Sit Your Ass Down Somewhere moment has been brought to you by my man, DJ Flent D. He said, talk about it, and we all getting to know that boy won't be in business too much longer. And that's where we need to be at, man. We need to continue to communicate as a community, talk with each other. Do you think DJs could do better in respecting one another and respecting maybe that DJ doesn't do what you do? Maybe that DJ isn't meant to be what you do. Do you think DJs as a whole could do better as a community in communicating with one another, or do you think we're already there?
I have honestly never come across another fellow DJ that I felt was out of line, or I mean, every DJ that I meet is some, I respect them. They have respect for me. I just never met that person that I feel like I need to shit on them, or somebody treated me that way. I just never met that person. Maybe it's just my aura, I don't know, but I just never met that person. So
right.
I can't speak on that right there. So I think all DJs that I've ever met are the coolest people. And this is outside of them being DJs. They're just cool people.
Right.
So, I mean, and this is what I get when I'm around other people that do the same thing that I do.
We're about to step into probably one of the greatest times in music performances. People out there, is probably going to be an event every night, probably coming up this summer, going into the fall, and probably for the foreseeable future, as everyone is trying to get back in one way or another what they lost out on for over a year. What do you feel about the days ahead and DJing out here in Orlando, and what to look for in your mind? Like, are you kind of seeing it kind of slowly creep up, or is it already starting in your mind?
I think if you're in Florida, we're back, and the money is back. I mean, I see bars, clubs, events, everything is pretty much, I won't say back to pre-COVID levels, but they're back. So I mean, people making money. The money is back in the streets now. So it's all on your hustle. And my thing is this: if you were that person, that DJ waiting around for everything to weigh out or whatever, that's on you. You should have. I think in any industry, when things go south, you need to pivot. And how you pivot, that's on you. But I pivoted in a different way. I chose to go to real estate avenue, but you have to pivot. You can't rely on what you did a year or 2 years ago for your future. If it ain't working now, you got to do something different. I mean, just because you're doing something different don't mean you still can't DJ. You just got to do something different to support you, your family, and build your future. So, I mean, for all the DJs that are hurting because of the pandemic, I feel you on that. But on the same token, I think you should have looked at another avenue to bring income in. That's all I'm saying.
This TED Talk moment has been brought to you by my brother, DJ motherfucking Flent D. Dude, you just continue to drop bombs on him, bro. I set him up, you knock him down, bro. That's exactly what needs to be said in the time that we're living in right now. If you didn't acquire a new mindset in general from last year and you're still alive, then you missed the whole class, because that class sat everyone down and forced everyone to kind of look into themselves and not outside of themselves. And, but with that said, better days are ahead in the idea of what DJs and their opportunities, because there's probably going, once summer comes around, when summer is let loose, and like you said, we're in Florida. I mean, there's, like you said, there's going to be a lot of money out on the streets. A lot of people, having some party. Maybe they're having a party over, I just got my tires fixed. I don't know. They might be having parties for every damn reason in the world. But it's important that, like you said, people get the concept or the idea that you should be multi-hustling right now, because the market is open wide for that kind of hustling right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of money in these streets.
Yeah,
and if you're not making DJ money, you could be making other money, because there's a lot of money in these streets.
You said something about real estate. How's that going for you?
Just started, so getting my bearings going, trying to get the first sale. So you need a house, let me know.
I heard that. You hear that, Orlando? Yo, go bless my man. Y'all want a house? Go talk to that man right there, bro. He'll get you good, man. He's good people. But man, such an honor to have you on tonight, brother. I think we talked about a little bit of everything.
I don't think your audience know we twins. We share the same birthday, January 11th.
All my Capricorns out here, bro. You already know.
Yeah.
My twin, bro, January 11th. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what's up.
How many ones we got? We got 4 of them.
Keep putting them up.
Keep putting them up, man. But man, dude, I'm proud of you, man. I know the city's proud of you. You're one of the people that never gave up. You just, like you said, you grew and you just transferred it over to something else. You still hip hop. You still a part of this story of ours in the city. I think if anybody, knows you and has fucked with you a while, bro, we can all say you're a good dude, man, and continue to do what you're doing out here, brother.
Appreciate that. Thank you, man. Very blessed to be here. Thank you very much.
Last question before we get out of here, man. If you could count maybe 2 or 3 DJs, what were some of the DJs that inspired you?
Locally or just period?
Just period. Yeah, just period.
Oh, okay. Of course, Clue.
Shout out to DJ Clue.
Yeah. Locally, A-Rock.
Okay. Shout out to A-Rock.
Yeah. And like Nova back in the day, like when they was doing that Blue Martini stuff, that's what gave me that whole when CJ was doing the Blue Martini Mondays, that's what gave me the whole open format concept. So that's where all of that spawned with DJ Riz and Sis and the whole Baboom team. I mean, they just kind of like made me go forward for that, go all out for that open format transition. So, and yeah, I appreciate them so much. So,
and shout out to, I know I'm saying it in a funny way because it sounds funny to me. But shout out to all my open format DJs. I thought that that's what we did anyway as hip hop DJs. You know, the bigger back in the days, you know, I don't know if you went to that Firestone concert with Kid Capri, but he had like 1,000 and some odd records on that damn stage. There was a wall of records behind him.
I was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was his equivalent of what Serato is to now.
Yeah, but not everybody was doing that because if you think back to 90s DJs, everybody was a specific DJ. Like you go to a party and you had the hip hop DJ, you had the reggae DJ, you had the soca DJ, so DJs were genre driven back then. Because you couldn't afford all to buy.
Right. I think it was a logistic problem in the sense of, once again, as someone that literally carried records in a shopping cart once because I needed to get all my fucking records into where I was going. Logistically, it just wasn't efficient because for every record you didn't bring that wasn't a part of what you were doing, you know, that's one less record in your collection. Now, to me, like, it's Serato, a great example. Like, you could play literally anything based on your knowledge of music, and you could play snippets of them. But they're not records. So they're not shit you got to carry. You know, I know, dude, that was like the worst moments of every night. I spent the majority of my life going from, man, this shit was dope, man. Fuck! I gotta carry shit in and out of an apartment or home or whatever. And, you know.
You remember that party that that I had at my apartment? I think it was like in 92, 93 that you and Craze DJ.
Yes.
So, like, and that you guys like played in the back room. So like you guys bought so many records back then. I'm like, I can't imagine doing shit like that now.
Right. Like the idea of open format logistically, without bringing those 1,000 records on, it was like an open hard drive for him. And I understand why he was doing it, because one, you got to want to do that. Two, you got to have the knowledge of the music, which we all did.
Yeah.
But it never made any sense. Like, remember Barbarella's?
Yeah.
You had to go around those fucking stairs, the curly Q stairs, to get into the booth. Like, imagine having to carry 9 crates or 10 crates going in a circle, you know, and then at the end of the night, you have to go right back down that circle.
Yeah.
You always had to have one of your dudes with you to help you carry those fucking crates.
Yep. I even started putting mine in the newspaper bins.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right, bro. It was a logistic nightmare. A lot of you new DJs, you'll never know what that was like. And you're not going to trick me again talking about, man, we only have real vinyl over here. Fuck all you motherfuckers. I ain't carrying not one more motherfucking vinyl ever again. I paid my dues. I carry that motherfucker for 25 years. You ain't catching me not one with one vinyl record ever again. That's never happening. So kiss my ass with that. I love you. But no, I'm just saying, like, at home, it was viable. I love spinning rock. And you know, there was a lot of great rock music and 70s soul and disco and house and different shit like that. It just wasn't logistically possible at the time. But I think hip hop was a lot more open format than times we give ourselves credit to. This wasn't something that somebody came up with in 2001. Oh, we're going to be open format. No, motherfucker. We was open format back then. It's just we weren't carrying on them fucking records to the club. True. You know, a lot of our shit was on albums or singles, you know, or bootleg. We weren't doing that, man. That's why people got in free with you. You damn right, motherfucker, because they gotta carry them damn records. Shit. You know, you put on something fresh and you gotta carry out 4 or 5 records, crates of records. You wriggling your shit all up, man.
Yeah, Free had a guy to put them back in the sleeves.
Dude. Salute to Flent D, one of the DJs that showed me love and put me back on in the days. Yeah, shout out to my man Haiti on the check-in.
DJ Quest, that's my dude. DJ.
Yes.
Quest, dude.
You know, like I said, I mean, I got mad respect for you. I know how much you love our culture, you know, this thing of ours, and I know you put in all the time in the world to harness your craft. You take it seriously. You're not one of these, you know, clout chasing motherfuckers, you know, doing what's cool. You love hip hop. And I think people out here need to know that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Quest, we could talk about headlights.
He said headlights. You mean fight nights. Like, dude, and it didn't matter when I went to headlights. It didn't matter what day it went on. Dude, no matter when I went out there, there was always a fight. We call that bitch fight nights.
When we started, we kind of like right after Rich and Ray went down to Miami.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing to do on a Saturday night. So remember how Rich and Ray had it back in the day?
Right.
And when Twice as Nice left, then Saturday nights was done. So
right.
shout out to my man Greg G. We started doing the Saturday nights.
Yep.
West was with us. Quest started doing that with us, and that night just blew up. And after my tenure, that's when it started getting, as you say, fight night.
Oh, bro, it was fight nights over there, bro. We only went out there for the entertainment because we knew by the time we got out there, we were either gonna be laughing our ass off or trying to pull the hell up out of there, bro. Because I remember they used to have that whole area blocked, like you couldn't even make the U-turn anymore. It got to the point where you couldn't even make the U-turn anymore.
Yeah,
they had that whole thing blocked. Like I was just like, what the hell y'all doing?
And shout outs again to Greg, because if it wasn't for Greg, there'll be no hip hop downtown.
No,
he was the first promoter to bring it to Volcanoes. So,
yes, shout out to Volcano, yo. Yeah. Haven't heard that in a while. But yeah, you're right. Greg G was working hard to get it into downtown, but once he did, it was consistently there. It would be there. But
it was a no-brainer. It should have been there already, but it was a no-brainer.
Man, you know why it wasn't there, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It was, you know, it was that damn Alabama Jim Crow shit for a long time. If you even uttered the word hip-hop.
Nah, we don't want that. We don't want that.
We don't want that. You ain't bringing none of them Pine Hills dudes over here. You ain't bring a bunch of... And just this negative connotation that was going on for years. And it was finally a breakthrough where they actually said, oh, now we need you. And I loved it. I don't love it anymore because I feel like every single club down there is a part of a corporation now, meaning they're all literally playing the same thing. I remember going down there, you know, they would have, you know, Barbarella's would be playing some weird new wave stuff. Then you go a little bit more down. You had the Sapphire Supper Club, you know, and you'd have this funky acid jazz, hip hop soul shit. And then you go down to Beecham, they had the club shit. And then you go down to Wall Street, and it was, you know, where all the misfits were. And you had some abstract hip hop, you know, shout out to DJ Nigel, you know, yeah, Beef Wellington. Like you had all this like different eclectic stuff all over the place. And then they Walmarted the whole goddamn town. They're literally all playing the same records. It's really sad.
Because you have the same guys buying the same bars. Literally, you said it right. I mean, basically, there's probably like 3 or 4 companies that own bars downtown, and they probably all have like 5 or 6 in their pocket.
Right. It was the one guy I definitely know is the one guy from Beecham, he used to run Park Avenue, and back in the days, he had the Beecham, and that's all he had, and all those other bars along that way were independently owned. And then next thing I know, I come back, he owns the whole motherfucker. He owns all of them.
Yep.
And I'm like, how can you play all the same records at every one of them? Like, dude. But to be fair, it's free to get in. So there's always that. So
That part.
hey man, thank you for coming on tonight, bro. We
My
love
pleasure.
you out here, man. Thank you. And hopefully we'll meet up and have some beer or something. And talk about some old war stories at some point.
Yeah, let's do that.
And you're always welcome on the show, brother.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And thank you, everybody that tuned in today. Thank you very much.
Man, give it up for the legendary DJ Flent Mother Diddy. Let's go. Man, thank you, my brother. Hey, thank you, everybody, for joining the show tonight. You know what time it is. We represent our city. Shout out to my brothers for all tuning in. DJ Quest, you already know. My man Jesse Jazz. My man Strange Flow was good, homie. All my peoples, man. We don't do this show without you, man. Shout out to Remington Steele. Shout out to my man DJ Infinite. My man DJ Shu, the legend DJ Shu. Shout out to Quazim. Yo, what's up, homeboy? Hit me up, please. Shout out to Clay Dudley. Man, shout out to everybody on the check-in, man. We love y'all, man. This is how we do it. Okay, we're representing our city. We ain't got no shame about that. We're talking about our people. And man, we're gonna see you on tomorrow night with a brand new show. You know how we're doing it, man. Sound of Orlando show. I want to give a quick shout out to, if you need some printing done, hit up my man Jesse Jazz for that 5stargraphics.com. Legendary DJ, legendary promoter, and legendary print man in the city. If you need printing, hit that man up. We love all of y'all, man. See y'all tomorrow. And hey, that's what we're doing, man. Shout outs to you. It's for you.
Live on stage. The sound.
Orlando.
So, is they ready? The sound.